Hello everyone, and welcome to our monthly review of the economy. In the month of April, the most important event was the announcement of monetary policy by the Reserve Bank of India on April 8. And the central bank decided to move their focus away from growth towards inflation control. And this they intend to do by removing accommodation in the system, which essentially means sucking liquidity out. And this particularly becomes very relevant given the fact that after the policy, inflation surprised everyone. Inflation printed 7% for the month of March. Now, given these realities, today's discussion is focused on the RBI's reassessment of the economy and also on the monetary policy moves that they made on April 8th. Let's first talk about the economic reassessment by the RBI. Between February policy and the April policy, a lot has changed. The Russia-Ukraine conflict has completely changed the complexion of global recovery. The growth is now expected to slow down and inflation expected to go up. Central bank has also changed its assumption on crude oil. It now expects crude oil to settle at around $100 a barrel for the fiscal year 22-23. Its earlier assessment was that oil would be around $80 a barrel. Now, as a result of these changes, the growth forecast has been notched down from 7.8% to 7.2% for fiscal year 22-23. And inflation has been notched up very significantly from 4.5% to 5.7%. Let's now talk about the monetary policy moves by the RBI. On the face of it, the central bank seems to have done little. They kept the repo rate unchanged, the reverse repo rate unchanged, and they have also kept the stance accommodative. But if you look under the hood, I think they have made subtle changes which now mean that days of easy monetary policy is over and we should brace up for rising interest rates going ahead. The first thing they did was they signaled that they are moving away from ultra-accommodative stance towards less accommodative stance. The second thing they did was the corridor of interest rate, which is the difference between the rate at which the banks park their liquidity with the RBI and the rate at which they borrow from the RBI. I think that had been widened during the COVID crisis to support the economy. They wanted to signal the banks that please don't keep money with us, rather use it for other purposes. Now that situation has changed. So what they have done is they have reverted the corridor back to its original pre-COVID length of 50 basis point. And they have done it not by increasing the reverse repo rate, by introducing another instrument which is called the SDF. Now what the SDF does is it allows the banks to park their money, excess liquidity with the RBI without RBI having to provide a collateral for it. So this is a rather more potent instrument for sucking out liquidity than the reverse repo rate would have been, because that requires a collateral. Now as a result of this, the market reacted. The bond yields firmed up by almost 20 basis points in 2 to 3 days after the policy was announced. And we also expect that the central bank will pursue its monetary tightening. And in the month of June, we should see an interest rate hike of 25 basis points accompanied by a change in stance to neutral. After that, we expect at least 50 basis point rate hike in the fiscal year 22-23. So clearly, brace up now for higher interest rates, fasten your seatbelts. The days of easy monetary policy are clearly over. And the pace of increase by RBI will depend on a number of things. I think if inflation continues to surprise on the upside, I think the RBI could move faster. And if inflation is as per their prediction, then I think they would be less aggressive on rate hikes. That's our assessment. Thank you very much for tuning in. See you next month.